Welcome to the behind the scenes for my 2021 road reel entry, Flow. So let's break this down into pre, shoot and post. The first part of any documentary is finding a good story, and thankfully I already had that covered. While we've never lived close enough to see each other regularly, Tim and I have maintained a friendship over the last few years on the internet. And when I saw that he'd started in his watercolour painting, and that he'd managed to make some money selling them online, and that he'd been featured in a local gallery, I was really curious to know more. So I reached out to Tim and I suggested we meet up for a good old catch up, and why not double down on our time together and shoot a little documentary. I pulled together a brief list of questions based on other little mini documentaries I'd done with people before, and I asked him to send me over a few photographs of kind of his studios and where he painted, so that I could begin to get a visual idea of how I might be able to shoot it when we get there. So off we went to Hebden Bridge, a small town in northern England. I say we, I literally mean myself and my partner, as I'd kind of roped her in to operate the behind the scenes camera for me while I was filming with Tim on the day. Usually on a shoot like this, I'd aim to capture the interview first so that I could then use that to inform and structure all the cutaways that I would film throughout the rest of the shoot. As this was a single day shoot, we had to really optimise our time. The weather forecast wasn't looking good and I knew we needed the daylight for some outside shots I wanted to get. So the first part of the day was heading out on a small hike, followed by stopping in at the gallery that's hosting Tim's artwork. After that, it was back to Tim's home where we started on painting. He's got this great big window that lets in loads of natural light right by where he paints, so I wanted to make sure that I had as much of that light as possible to capture the painting footage. Tim had already explained previously that there'd be a small segment where he had to wait for the painting to dry before he could finish up like the final touches, like signing his name and things like that. So that gave us a nice window of opportunity where we'd be able to capture the interview footage. The biggest benefit for the interview was that me and Tim already knew each other. We didn't need to waste time trying to break the ice and kind of build some rapport before we could move on to the questions. Tim also has a background in podcasting and creating content for the internet, which means he was incredibly well spoken and articulate for the interview, which is something that would save me a lot of time in the edit later on. Once the interview was done, we grabbed our few shots and it was time to say our goodbyes. Tim very generously gifted us the painting that he created throughout the documentary, and with so much meaning attached to that, it was fantastic. It meant so much to us, and that's now proudly on our wall in our living room. The post-production should have been easy, but unfortunately, like a lot of passion projects, other things got in the way. This unfortunately sat to one side until yesterday. Now bearing in mind, today is the Tuesday the 19th of October. I have about 6 hours until the deadline of Road Reel. Fortunately, because Tim was so great on camera, it made it quite easy to pull the whole thing into a great, flowing and compelling narrative that I hope really portrays the passion Tim has for his artwork. There's very little else to add for post-production, as it's quite simply simple cuts with the interview audio added with a nice little music bed underneath it. I think it portrays it in the most clean, simple fashion. I'm not looking to go over the top with effects, so I'm very happy with how it all came together. A quick little run through Lumetri, and that was it. Job done. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed Flow.